Every single morning, life gives you a brand new page. What you write on that page will determine how the rest of your story unfolds that day. Some people wake up tired, rushing, complaining, and already feeling defeated before the day even begins. Others rise with light, peace, and focus, and somehow their time stretches, their tasks flow smoothly, and their hearts feel calm even in chaos. That difference is called barakah. If you truly want your life to change, if you want to achieve more with less stress, and if you want your heart to taste peace, no matter what challenges come your way, then you need to understand how to start your day with barakah. Stay with me until the end, because once you learn this, your mornings and your entire life will never be the same. When we talk about the power of early beginnings, we are not only talking about waking up in the morning, we are talking about the mindset, the energy, and the spiritual atmosphere that accompanies those first few hours of the day. The start of the day is like the seed of a tree. The seed may be small and often overlooked, but it holds within it the strength to determine the fruit, the shade, and the beauty that will later come forth. In the same way, the way you begin your morning shapes everything that unfolds after it. If the seed is neglected, the tree grows weak. If the seed is nourished, the tree flourishes. Your morning carries the same weight. It is the seed of your day, and what you plant in it determines what you will harvest by the evening. There is a secret hidden in the quietness of early mornings. When the world is still, when distractions are minimal, and when the sun has not yet risen to scatter its light, your heart is in its purest state. It has not yet been clouded with worries, negativity, or the demands of others. In those moments, you are gifted with clarity, focus, and peace, if only you choose to use them wisely. Many people waste this powerful time by rushing through it, or by drowning themselves in noise, checking their phones, or scrolling through meaningless updates. They exchange a priceless treasure for something fleeting and empty. Those who understand the value of early beginnings, however, tap into blessings that stay with them long after the morning has passed. The early part of the day also sets the rhythm for everything else. Think of a musician tuning an instrument. If the very first string is out of tune, the whole melody will sound unpleasant, no matter how skillfully it is played. But if the tuning is correct, the rest flows beautifully. Your morning works in the same way. If you start it with stress, anger, or laziness, you carry that vibration into the rest of the day. If you start it with calmness, gratitude, and intention, the rest of the day flows with a similar harmony. This is why successful people, spiritually strong individuals, and those who live with peace and contentment all emphasize the power of the early morning. It is their secret to balance and success. Another reason early beginnings are powerful is because of the hidden barakah, the blessings that multiply your efforts. You may work for hours later in the day with little result, but what you do in the morning often carries extraordinary fruit. A single moment of reflection before sunrise can bring clarity that hours of overthinking cannot. A simple prayer in the early hours can open doors for you that remain closed despite all your hard work. An act of kindness in the morning can echo throughout your day, making you feel lighter, happier, and more focused. The blessings placed in the morning are not accidental. They are part of the natural design of life. Those who take advantage of this design find themselves achieving more with less stress. The mind also performs best in the morning. Science itself shows us that our willpower, energy, and focus are strongest earlier in the day. This is the time when the brain is most alert and the heart most receptive. Yet, many people sabotage themselves by staying up late, waking up exhausted, and then dragging themselves through the morning. They rob themselves of the very power that could transform their lives. Imagine how different life would be if those first hours were claimed with purpose, waking with gratitude, taking time for prayer, feeding the mind with positive knowledge, and giving the body what it needs to feel alive. These simple yet powerful actions in the early hours of the day create a ripple effect that reaches into every part of your life. When you rise early, you also rise ahead. The world is still sleeping, and you already have a head start. That quiet solitude allows you to do things without interruption, to think, to plan, to create, to connect with your Creator. By the time others are just beginning their day, you are already grounded, prepared, and focused. This not only brings a sense of achievement, but also a deep calmness. You are no longer chasing time. Instead, time feels like it is working for you. That is one of the greatest gifts of early beginnings. You gain time instead of losing it. It is also worth reflecting that many of the most influential and wise people throughout history were those who valued the early hours of the morning. They understood that success is not only about working hard, but also about working at the right time, in the right state of mind, with the right intention. When you honor the morning, you are honoring the system of life itself, the natural rhythm that was designed to give you strength and clarity. In truth, the early beginning of your day is a mirror of your life. If you live it carelessly, rushing, wasting, and ignoring its value, your life too will pass in a blur without deep meaning. But if you live it with awareness, discipline, gratitude, and connection, your life will reflect those same blessings. Each morning is like a miniature version of life. You are given a new chance, a fresh start, and the opportunity to shape what follows. And just as those who plant good seeds reap a good harvest, those who begin their mornings with barakah will find their entire lives blooming with blessings, ease, and peace. So the power of early beginnings is not just in waking up, it is in waking up with purpose. It is about understanding that the first breath you take in the morning carries more than oxygen, it carries opportunity. It is about realizing that the silence of dawn is not empty but filled with unseen blessings waiting for you to claim them. And it is about knowing that if you master the art of beginning your day well, you have already mastered half the art of living well. The greatest source of barakah in the morning comes from connection with the divine. Without that connection, a person may wake up with energy, ambition, and a long list of tasks, but something will always feel incomplete. They may chase goals, rush into their schedules, and fill their hours with noise, yet deep inside there remains a void. Connection with the one who gave you life is what transforms an ordinary morning into a blessed one, and it is what fills your time with light that no amount of effort can replace. The truth is, you are given a new life every time you wake up. Sleep is like a small death, a pause from this world, and opening your eyes at dawn is a reminder that you have been given another chance. The first thing you do after being gifted with this chance reveals where your heart truly lies. If your first thought is gratitude, if your first action is prayer, if your first whisper is remembrance, then you have already invited blessings into your day before it has even begun. Connection with the divine in the morning does not need to be long or complicated. Sometimes it is the simple sincerity that carries the deepest effect. A heartfelt prayer before sunrise can anchor your soul for the rest of the day. A moment of gratitude expressed silently as you take your first steps out of bed can shift your heart from heaviness to lightness. A few minutes spent in reflection on the greatness of the Creator can fill your mind with clarity that no motivational book or lecture could provide. These quiet acts align your inner world with the higher purpose of your existence. They remind you that life is not just about surviving, earning, or rushing. It is about living with meaning, seeking peace, and walking in harmony with the One who controls all affairs. When you begin your morning without this connection, it is as though you are walking into a storm without shelter. No matter how strong you think you are, you will eventually be battered by the winds of stress, negativity, and distraction. But when you begin with the remembrance of your Creator, you walk into the same storm with a shield. Challenges may come, but they no longer feel overwhelming. People may test your patience, but you are less shaken. Obstacles may arise, but you find strength to face them with calmness. That is the gift of divine connection. It does not remove your struggles, but it gives you the power to rise above them. In the early hours, when most of the world is still asleep, the heart is most open and the soul is most receptive. There is something deeply spiritual about speaking to your Creator when the world is silent. The distractions of the day have not yet stolen your focus, and the burden of responsibilities has not yet weighed you down. In those moments, your words flow with purity, and your heart feels a closeness that is difficult to find later in the business of life. That is why those who seek barakah in their mornings protect this time fiercely. They treat it as sacred, as a time to recharge their spirits before stepping into the demands of the world. This connection also brings perspective. When you begin the day with prayer and remembrance, you are reminded that your time is not endless and your efforts are not independent. Every breath you take is given to you, every opportunity is opened by the will of the One who provides, and every result is granted through His wisdom. This perspective changes the way you approach your day. Instead of drowning in stress, you trust the process. Instead of clinging to control, you surrender with peace. Instead of measuring success by how much you accomplish, you begin to measure it by how meaningful and blessed your actions become. And this shift in perspective brings a calmness that no material success can ever replace. Connection with the divine in the morning also acts as a filter for the rest of the day. When you begin with remembrance, your heart becomes more sensitive to negativity. You are less likely to waste time on gossip, less tempted to fall into toxic habits, and less willing to let anger consume you. You carry with you a sense of awareness that guides your choices. The words you speak, the way you interact with people, and the decisions you make are all influenced by that morning connection. It is like filling your vessel with pure water at the start of the day. Whatever comes later may try to pollute it, but the purity of the beginning remains as a protection. This connection also multiplies effort. A task done without remembrance feels heavy and draining, but the same task done after seeking divine assistance feels lighter and flows more smoothly. People often wonder how some manage to accomplish so much in so little time, while others struggle endlessly without results. The answer lies not in talent alone, but in the unseen blessings that come when you start with your Creator. Time itself expands, energy feels renewed, and opportunities seem to open effortlessly when your morning is anchored in divine connection. That is the essence of barakah. It is not about how much you have, but how much goodness flows from what you have. Finally, when you make it a habit to begin your mornings with the divine, it transforms not only your day but your entire life. Each day begins with peace, and peace builds into consistency. Consistency becomes character, and character becomes destiny. Over time, you will find yourself living a life that feels lighter, more purposeful, and more blessed. The storms of life may still come, but you will meet them with a heart that is calm, a mind that is clear, and a soul that is connected to its source. And that is the greatest barakah of all. Time is one of the greatest gifts given to every human being, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood. Some people feel that their days slip through their fingers, no matter how much effort they put in, while others seem to accomplish so much with ease, leaving behind lasting results. The difference between the two is not always intelligence, wealth, or resources. It is the presence or absence of barakah in their time. Barakah in time is a hidden blessing, a divine touch that makes the same number of hours more fruitful, more meaningful, and more peaceful. When barakah enters your time, you will notice that even small actions carry tremendous weight, and tasks that once felt impossible become manageable. Without it, even the longest day feels rushed, unproductive, and empty. Think about the moments in your own life when everything seemed to flow. You may have woken up early, centered yourself, and suddenly the hours stretched before you, allowing you to complete tasks, spend time with loved ones, and still feel calm at the end of the day. Compare that with days when you rush from the start, skipping reflection, ignoring prayer, or wasting the first precious hours, only to find yourself tired, distracted, and dissatisfied despite working just as hard. The secret to this difference lies not in how much time you had, but in how much barakah was placed within it. Barakah in time teaches us that quality is more important than quantity. A person may study for an hour with focus, sincerity, and the right intention and gain more knowledge than another who studies for 10 distracted hours. A person may work for a few hours in the morning with clear mind and blessed effort, achieving more than someone who spends the entire day chasing results. This shows us that time is not measured only by the clock. It is measured by the blessing that flows within it. The clock may give everyone 24 hours, but only those who seek barakah truly live those hours fully. The presence of barakah in time often begins in the morning. When you wake with intention, connect with your Creator, and avoid filling your early hours with meaningless distractions, you invite blessings into the rest of your day. Your tasks align, your energy feels multiplied, and even unexpected challenges are easier to manage. In contrast, when you begin the day in chaos, rushing, worrying, or immersing yourself in negativity, you often find the hours slipping away without much to show for them. The state of your beginning has a ripple effect that carries into everything that follows. That is why protecting the morning is so important. It sets the tone for how barakah will manifest in your time. Barakah in time is also about perspective. Many people think productivity means filling every minute with activity, but that often leads to burnout. True productivity comes from balance, knowing when to work, when to rest, when to connect spiritually, and when to nurture relationships. When you invite barakah into your time, You begin to see that life is not just about doing more, but about doing the right things with sincerity and purpose. 10 minutes spent in heartfelt prayer may carry more benefit than 10 hours of restless effort. A short but genuine conversation with a loved one may bring more peace than an entire day of distractions. Barakah transforms your time from being merely filled to being meaningful. The absence of barakah, on the other hand, is easy to recognize. It is when you feel constantly busy but rarely satisfied. It is when you rush from one task to another yet always feel behind. It is when your accomplishments feel shallow, your relationships neglected, and your peace stolen. This state is not solved simply by adding more hours or working harder. It is solved by seeking barakah. Without divine blessing, time becomes like sand slipping through your fingers. No matter how tight you hold it, it disappears. With blessing, time becomes like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it grows beyond expectation. Barakah in time also manifests in how you manage interruptions and difficulties. Without barakah, small obstacles can consume your day. A minor delay can trigger frustration, and a single mistake can throw off your entire schedule. With barakah, however, you navigate these same interruptions with calmness. You find that solutions appear quickly, help arrives unexpectedly, and what seemed like wasted time turns into an opportunity for growth. This is the unseen hand of blessing guiding your hours, turning what could have been setbacks into stepping stones. Another profound aspect of barakah in time is the way it connects you to legacy. A person with blessed time is not just living for themselves, they are leaving behind work, words, and actions that continue to benefit others long after the day ends. A single book written with sincerity, a single act of kindness done at the right time, or a single word of guidance shared with someone in need can echo for years. This is the multiplication of time that barakah brings. It stretches beyond the moment and carries into eternity. To invite barakah into your time, intention is key. Begin your day not with complaints or mindless habits, but with gratitude, remembrance, and clarity. Protect your hours from being drained by negativity or wasted on pursuits that bring no benefit. When you use your time with awareness and sincerity, you open the door for divine blessing to enter. And once that blessing enters, your hours expand, your energy increases, and your heart feels content even when the clock shows only a few minutes have passed. In the end, barakah in time is about living a life that feels full, not just busy. It is about realizing that true success is not in doing everything, but in doing what matters with the help of divine blessing. Every morning is a new chance to invite barakah into your hours, to transform your ordinary time into extraordinary results, and to live a life that feels both productive and peaceful. The choice is yours, to live by the clock alone or to live with the blessing that makes every moment count. One of the most overlooked doors to barakah in life is the role of healthy habits. People often assume that blessings are only linked to prayer or spiritual practices, but the truth is that your body, your mind, and your daily routines all play a vital role in attracting and sustaining divine blessings. A person who mistreats their body and neglects their health and lives without discipline cannot expect to function at their best. The state of your body affects the state of your mind, and the state of your mind affects the state of your heart. When your body is strong, your energy is renewed, your thoughts are clearer, and your heart becomes more open to spiritual connection. When your body is weak due to neglect, your energy is drained, your thoughts are clouded, and your heart struggles to stay focused. That is why healthy habits are not only a physical necessity but a spiritual responsibility. Think of the morning. The way you begin your day with your body directly influences the quality of blessings you attract. If you sleep late, wake sluggish, and drag yourself through the morning, your energy is already depleted before the day even begins. But if you sleep at the right time, rise early, and move your body with intention, you begin your day with vitality. Something as simple as drinking water upon waking, stretching your body, or taking a walk in fresh air can awaken not just your physical strength but also your inner clarity. These small habits prepare you to face the day with alertness and gratitude, opening space for barakah to flow into your efforts. Healthy habits also extend to what you consume. Food is not just fuel for the body, it shapes your energy, your mood, and your ability to concentrate. Eating with moderation, choosing wholesome foods, and avoiding what is harmful are acts that invite blessings. When you overeat or indulge in things that drain your energy, you carry heaviness into your day that clouds your productivity and weakens your resolve. But when you eat with awareness, Choosing nourishment that sustains you without excess, you carry lightness and strength that supports your mind and soul. It is not about luxury or abundance, but about mindfulness, knowing that every bite either builds your energy or takes it away. Those who maintain healthy eating habits often find that their worship, their work, and their relationships all improve because their bodies are no longer holding them back. Habits of the mind are just as important. A healthy body cannot flourish if the mind is poisoned by negativity. Many people sabotage their mornings by immediately consuming fear, gossip, or comparison through social media and news. This habit fills their minds with restlessness before they have even begun their tasks. A healthy habit for the mind is to guard the morning carefully. Feed it with gratitude, reflection, or knowledge that inspires. When your mind begins the day with clarity and positivity, you carry resilience into the hours that follow. You are less shaken by small setbacks, less tempted by distractions, and more capable of focusing on what truly matters. The blessing here lies not in avoiding problems, but in facing them with a mind that is steady, hopeful, and disciplined. Another healthy habit that brings barakah is consistency in routine. Discipline may feel difficult in the beginning, but over time it becomes the very key that unlocks stability. When you establish a regular sleep pattern, protect your mornings, and dedicate time for spiritual connection, your life begins to align. Instead of wasting energy on irregular schedules or procrastination, you live with flow and balance. Consistency creates reliability, and reliability attracts trust, not only from others but also within yourself. You begin to trust your own ability to keep moving forward, and that self-trust builds confidence. Confidence combined with discipline becomes a magnet for barakah because your actions are no longer scattered, they are intentional and sustained. Healthy habits also extend to emotional care. Carrying anger, envy, or grudges poisons the heart, while practicing forgiveness, patience, and gratitude purifies it. When your emotional state is heavy, even the smallest tasks feel exhausting. But when your heart is light, even challenges feel manageable. Developing the habit of checking your emotions in the morning, asking yourself what you need to let go of and what you need to embrace, creates space for blessings to enter. A peaceful heart attracts peaceful outcomes. It is important to understand that blessings are not always about having more. They are about experiencing goodness in what you already have. A person with unhealthy habits may have time, wealth, and resources yet still feel unfulfilled and constantly chasing. Another person with fewer resources but strong, healthy habits may feel abundant, productive, and at peace. The difference lies in the ability to honor the body and mind as gifts and to care for them as part of spiritual responsibility. When you honor the body with rest, fuel, and movement, and honor the mind with clarity, gratitude, and discipline, you invite blessings that multiply beyond measure. Over time, these habits become your lifestyle, and your lifestyle becomes your character. You no longer need to force yourself to wake early, to eat moderately, or to focus positively. It becomes natural. And once it becomes natural, the flow of barakah becomes steady. Every morning begins with energy, every day carries meaning, and every evening ends with peace. What once felt like effort now feels like rhythm, and that rhythm harmonizes your body, mind, and soul. In truth, healthy habits are not separate from spirituality. They are deeply connected. A weak body cannot carry out acts of worship with consistency, and a distracted mind cannot focus on reflection or prayer. A heart filled with toxins cannot feel the sweetness of gratitude. By purifying your habits, you purify your life, and by purifying your life, you invite the presence of blessings. So when you think of barakah, do not imagine it as something far away or unattainable. It begins with the choices you make every morning. Do you choose rest over exhaustion, nourishment over indulgence, gratitude over complaint, discipline over case? Every small choice is a doorway, and behind the doorway lies either blessing or burden. Healthy habits open the door to blessing, and once you step through it, you will find that life is not only more productive but also more peaceful, more balanced, and more meaningful. Your mind and heart are the most valuable treasures you possess, and the way you protect them in the morning determines the quality of your entire day. If your heart is polluted with bitterness, worry, or envy, it becomes heavy, and that heaviness spreads into your words, your actions, and your relationships. If your mind is cluttered with fear, distraction, or negativity, it becomes foggy, and that fog clouds your focus, your decisions, and your productivity. Protecting your mind and heart from the very beginning of the day is one of the greatest ways to invite barakah into your life. It is not about shutting yourself off from the world, but about choosing what you allow inside. Just as you would not let anyone throw dirt into your drinking water, you must not allow every piece of negativity to enter your mind or every toxic influence to poison your heart. The morning is the most sensitive time for both the mind and the heart. They are fresh, unburdened, and open to receiving. What you feed them during those first hours becomes the foundation upon which the rest of your day is built. If the first thing you do when you wake up is scroll through complaints, arguments, or the endless comparison of social media, you have already handed your peace to others. Your heart absorbs envy when it sees what others have. Your mind absorbs fear when it reads disturbing news. And your energy is drained before you even take your first step out of bed. But if instead you begin with words of remembrance, gratitude for waking up, or reflection on your blessings, your heart fills with light and your mind with clarity. The difference is not small, it shapes your entire reality. Protecting the heart means guarding it from emotions that corrode it. Anger, jealousy, and resentment are poisons that slowly eat away at inner peace. If you wake up carrying yesterday's grudges, you chain yourself to the past and prevent yourself from moving forward. But if you wake up with the habit of releasing what no longer serves you, your heart feels lighter. Forgiveness in the morning is like clearing the dust off a mirror. It allows the light to reflect clearly. Gratitude is like polishing that mirror. It makes the heart shine with warmth. Protecting your heart requires intentional choices. Choosing to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. Choosing to forgive rather than to hold on, and choosing to trust rather than to drown in worry. When the heart is protected in this way, barakah flows naturally, because blessings can only rest in a space that is open and free of toxins. The mind, too, requires careful protection. It is the steering wheel of your life, guiding where your energy and attention will flow. Yet so many people give away control of their minds to anything and anyone. They let their thoughts be hijacked by gossip, by fear, or by endless distractions. A mind that is constantly reacting can never focus on what matters. Protecting the mind means taking back that control. It means setting the tone for your thoughts early in the day with affirmations of faith, with goals rooted in sincerity, and with words that uplift rather than drain. It means limiting what you expose yourself to, knowing that every word, every image, and every idea you consume becomes a seed planted in your thoughts. If you plant seeds of hope, discipline, and trust, your day will grow strong. If you plant seeds of doubt, anger, and negativity, your day will wither before it begins. One of the most powerful ways to protect the mind and heart is through silence. Not every morning needs to be filled with noise or chatter. Sometimes the greatest protection is found in sitting quietly with your own thoughts, breathing deeply, and centering yourself before the rush begins. Silence allows the heart to release what it has carried, and it allows the mind to filter what is truly important. In silence, you can hear your own prayers more clearly, and you can recognize the whispers of gratitude within. Many people fear silence because it feels unfamiliar, but silence is where the mind and heart find rest. When they are rested, they are protected, and when they are protected, they become fertile ground for barakah. Protecting your mind and heart also means protecting your company. The people you interact with in the morning shape your mood and your energy. A single negative word can linger in your thoughts for hours, while a single word of encouragement can lift you for the entire day. Choose to surround yourself with those who bring peace, not those who drain it. If that is not always possible, then at least guard your own boundaries. You cannot always choose what comes your way, but you can choose how much of it you let into your inner world. By guarding your heart with patience and your mind with clarity, you refuse to let external chaos dictate your internal state. Another layer of protection lies in your intention. If you begin your day with a clear purpose, seeking to live with sincerity, to do good, to be kind, and to remain grateful, your heart gains a shield. Intention acts like armor, guiding your choices and reminding you why you do what you do. Without intention, the mind drifts and the heart becomes vulnerable. With intention, the mind is anchored and the heart is secure. That is why before stepping into the noise of the world, grounding yourself with a pure intention is one of the strongest ways to protect both. In the end, protecting your mind and heart is about honoring them as sacred trusts. They are not meant to be dumping grounds for the negativity of the world. They are meant to be vessels of peace, love, and clarity. Every morning gives you the chance to shield them before the battles of the day begin. If you guard them carefully, you will find that even in the midst of chaos, your heart stays calm and your mind stays clear. And when calmness and clarity are present, Barakah finds a place to rest. The world outside may be noisy, but your inner world becomes a sanctuary. That sanctuary is where true success begins, and that is where blessings are preserved. Consistency is the hidden force behind every lasting success and every blessing that truly multiplies. Many people underestimate the power of small, repeated actions. Yet it is those steady steps that shape the course of our lives. One great effort done once may bring a moment of change, but a small effort repeated with sincerity brings transformation that lasts for years. Barakah, or divine blessing, is not something that rests upon sudden bursts of energy. It settles upon habits, upon persistence, and upon the daily commitment to what is good and meaningful. A person who prays once in desperation may feel relief, but the one who prays with consistency, morning and night, finds peace embedded into the rhythm of their life. A person who shows kindness in rare moments may brighten someone's day, but the one who practices kindness regularly becomes a source of light wherever they go. Consistency is difficult because it demands discipline, patience, and a willingness to show up even when motivation is absent. Inspiration may push you to begin, but consistency is what keeps you moving long after the excitement fades. Many people start with passion but stop when challenges appear. They want quick results, instant recognition, or immediate reward. But the blessings of consistency are slow and quiet. They build like drops of water filling a vessel. Each drop may seem small and insignificant, but with time the vessel overflows. Likewise, each consistent effort, no matter how small, attracts barakah until life is overflowing with unseen goodness. The secret is that consistency does not require perfection. You do not need to do everything at once, nor do you need to do it without fault. What matters is showing up again and again, even after failure, even after fatigue, even after disappointment. Every time you return to what is good, you strengthen the habit, and every time you strengthen the habit, you strengthen your character. Consistency is not about never falling, it is about never giving up. The person who keeps returning, who keeps striving, who keeps renewing their intention is the one who unlocks the blessings that others miss. There is also a spiritual dimension to consistency. Allah loves the deeds that are small but regular. This is because regular deeds purify the soul, steady the heart, and remind the mind constantly of higher purpose. A single act of generosity may be forgotten, but generosity practiced consistently reshapes the heart to become naturally giving. A single act of worship may be powerful, but worship practiced consistently engraves faith deep into the soul. The blessings of consistency extend beyond the action itself. They shape who you become. You are no longer someone who occasionally does good, but someone whose identity is built upon goodness. That is the true barakah of consistency. It transforms actions into character. Consistency also protects you from being swayed by the ups and downs of life. When you are consistent, your progress is not destroyed by one bad day or one moment of weakness. The habit itself carries you through the difficulties. A person who consistently takes care of their health may still fall sick, but their body recovers faster because of the strength they built over time. A person who consistently saves small amounts may still face hardship, but they are protected by the security of what they have stored. A person who consistently seeks knowledge may not understand everything immediately, but over years their mind becomes enriched with wisdom that no one can take away. Consistency shields you because it builds reserves of faith, reserves of strength, reserves of wisdom that carry you when life becomes heavy. Barakah in consistency also shows in how time itself seems to expand. When you commit to regular habits, your days gain structure and your efforts compound. 10 minutes of reading every day turns into entire libraries over the years. A few minutes of reflection each morning turns into deep wisdom and clarity in decision making. A small act of charity given regularly turns into lives transformed by your hidden generosity. What seems small in the moment becomes enormous over time. That is why consistency is the bridge between small beginnings and great results. Without it, energy is wasted and dreams remain unfinished. With it, even humble efforts blossom into something far greater than imagined. However, consistency requires balance. It does not mean overloading yourself with heavy routines that cannot be sustained. True consistency begins with what is manageable. It is better to do less with regularity than to attempt much and then abandon it. This principle applies to every aspect of life: faith, health, learning, relationships, and work. If you want barakah in your relationships, show consistent care, even in small ways rather than rare grand gestures. If you want barakah in your learning, study a little every day rather than cramming once and forgetting it. If you want barakah in your faith, establish simple daily practices rather than overwhelming yourself with temporary zeal. The blessing lies not in the intensity but in the continuity. Another dimension of consistency is sincerity. When you repeat an action, it must not become empty ritual. The heart should be present, the intention renewed, and the focus aligned. Otherwise, consistency can turn into lifeless habit. True barakah comes when each repetition is seen as an opportunity to connect, to improve, to draw nearer to purpose. Even if the action looks the same, the heart behind it can deepen. This is why consistent actions refine the soul. They give countless chances to renew sincerity, and sincerity is what attracts divine blessing. In the long run, consistency outshines talent, inspiration, or opportunity. Many people have great ideas, but only the consistent ones see them through. Many people have dreams, but only the consistent ones bring them into reality. Many people pray for blessings, but only the consistent ones prepare a vessel large enough to hold them. Consistency is the language of time, and time is where barakah unfolds. Those who are consistent are not chasing quick rewards. They are planting seeds for the future. And when the harvest comes, it is abundant, because each small act was multiplied by the passing of days, months, and years. Ultimately, consistency creates long-term barakah because it aligns your life with patience, discipline, and faith. It teaches you that success is not built in sudden leaps but in steady steps, and it allows blessings to settle and grow. Every time you choose consistency, you are choosing stability over chaos, growth over stagnation, and faith over despair. And when you live this way, your life itself becomes a testimony of how small, consistent actions, done with sincerity and patience, can bring blessings that last beyond your lifetime. That is the true power of consistency. It creates ripples of barakah that continue long after the action itself is done.